cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
You ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
Welcome into the View from C-Deck, and I'm Hopper. I mean, just Matt, as one of you called me out in the previous podcast. But here with Direwolf, back from the dead, man. Where you been all my life? On the edge.
It's been a struggle. Been on my deathbed the past couple weeks, but I finally got my strength back.
Yeah, that Michigan game couldn't have helped either. Probably pushed you closer to the light.
I was laying on my couch screaming, "I deserve this."
But we're here to talk about the CFP bracket finally revealed. Buckeyes are an 8 seed, and my headline's going to be for this podcast: the committee actually got it right. What the hell, man? Who saw that coming? I mean, their hand kind of got forced the way the games ended up going Saturday night in the conference championship games in SMU and Clemson playing the close game, but Bama gets left out for SMU is probably the headline at the moment. We talked a little bit about this before the podcast. I don't really care either way. If a 3-loss team gets left out, ain't going to bother me. And I'm with the committee. The way they did this, nobody who lost in the conference championship games truly got punished. SMU did a little bit because they dropped behind Indiana. But if you look at the bracket, it looks like they just were trying to maybe avoid an Indiana-Penn State matchup by doing that. Keep a Big Ten versus Big Ten matchup out of the first round. But if you are sitting at home, you should not pass a team that has to play an extra game because they earned it. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And I was pissed last year. I mean, they kind of got an excuse handed to them to leave Florida State out with the quarterback getting hurt. But that pissed me off too. Same situation happened. But I was actually surprised that they did the right thing. But like you said, I mean, it came down to a 56-yard walk-off field goal. How can you leave them out after that when Bama wasn't playing? I would have been really pissed off at them if they put Bama in. But I was actually kind of expecting it.
Yeah. And Bama fans that want to whine, you are the only team that's gotten in multiple scenarios in the previous ones, and you can just eat shit for not getting into this one. Sorry, don't lose to bad teams. Just don't lose to bad teams. And you don't have to worry about it. Don't lose at Vanderbilt. Don't lose at Oklahoma. You don't have to worry about it. So looking at the bracket, though, what are your initial thoughts there? Some pretty interesting matchups. Notre Dame and Indiana, battle of the state of Indiana right away. Ohio State and Tennessee, two big boys battling for the right to play the number 1 overall seed, the clear number 1 overall seed in Oregon. What we talked about before the season, maybe the 5 seed's the best, but maybe the 6 seed's the best, because Penn State, I think, got a nice little road to the Final Four handed to them.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. The flaw of the system is rearing its ugly head already. If you're Oregon, whether they admit it or not, they're not happy that they have to play the winner of us and Tennessee. And Penn State, meanwhile, gets to play SMU at home and then plays Boise State. I mean, that's a walk in the park to the Final Four. I mean, maybe Boise gives them game, who knows? But Texas at the 5. I mean, they're playing Clemson. It looks like a big game on, like, if you just see the brand, but Clemson's not. They're 3-loss team. They almost blew that one last
they're
night.
16th in the committee's final rankings.
Yeah. Yep. And then they get Arizona State, which whatever you think about them, but technically they're the worst team to get a bye. So Penn State and Texas are both sitting a lot prettier than Oregon is, I think. I mean, the bye's nice. I get it, but I still don't like the system.
Yeah, I mean, my rankings love Arizona State. They're top 4 in my rankings because they played really well at the end. My rankings don't punish losses that much. They have bad losses, but they have a lot of pretty good wins and in dominant style towards the end of the season, especially in their conference championship game, winning by 29 or however much they won by. Freaking destroying. They play Iowa State. Yeah. You're right. It's a flaw, though. Giving these automatic conference buys, being a 5 or 6 seed can be better than being the 1 seed. And I mean, like rest versus rust, just to say, oh, they get the bye though, so they don't play an extra game, won't get hurt. I'm like, yeah, but also it's an extra week that they're not getting stuff ready. Ohio State's been playing their butt off. Like maybe they find some mojo and suddenly they're coming in hotter and playing Oregon, and they gave Oregon the best game of anybody all season. But I do like initial thought is Oregon's going to win the national championship is my thought. That I said to you, they have the most ways to win games. Their defense didn't play great against Penn State for sure, but they've been pretty good most of the year. They can win with defense. Their offense obviously is very dynamic, both passing and running. They can be very, very effective. And then their special teams is solid all around. They've won games via special teams, like against Ohio State. Definitely contributed to the win there. They're the most complete team, but Dan Lanning also can do some dumb stuff. Lucky for him, Franklin earlier in that game going for 2 when he didn't need to.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think every team basically has flaws, like major flaws in this playoff, except Oregon, which is why I think we could actually beat basically everybody in the playoff. But Oregon's the one that scares me. I mean, we were there and only lost by 1, but we're different. We're a different team now. I mean, we did lose an offensive lineman in the middle of that game and had to scramble, and it obviously showed. But then, I mean, we've lost guys since then, and we played our worst game at the end of the year. So playing against them, I mean, we're going to be underdogs. We were actually favored when we played them earlier in the year, but they're the one team that actually scares me.
Have they released the actual schedule of winning everything this year?
I think we play New Year's Eve if we win.
No, I mean the
first game.
Yeah,
we play at 8:00 on Saturday.
Night game in the shoe in December. Oh baby,
yeah,
that's the game they want. We're the prime time game, and Notre Dame at 8 p.m. Okay, there we go. I got it up now. So quick thoughts, real quick. We'll do a whole preview eventually, but initial thoughts looking at this. We'll start right away. Notre Dame hosting Indiana, -7.5 up to 8 some spots. I like Notre Dame to cover that. Indiana they played 2 really good defenses and couldn't do very much on offense for 6 quarters in those games. And Notre Dame right now, they're just as good a defense as about anybody in the country. It's at home. I like them to at least win by 14.
I'm on the opposite of that. I think Indiana could surprise some people. They might even shock the world and win it outright. But I think they keep it close. Notre Dame seems to flounder in the postseason. And you're like this in the past however many years. I mean, when's the last time you actually won a national title? It's been like, 50 years or something like that? I don't even know. But
88.
What'd you say?
1988.
88. Okay. Not quite 50. Getting close to 40 though.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a tight game. I think that might be the best first round matchup.
Okay. SMU at Penn State. Penn State 8.5 point favorites. A lot of these lines are pretty. Every line is over a touchdown. SMU's offense pretty dynamic. Penn State's defense wasn't great against Oregon, but who is? They have some serious playmakers there. Offense better all around. Didn't lose to Clemson, but it's James Franklin, so you never know. And it's a noon game, so it's not Happy Valley at noon isn't nearly as scary as Happy Valley at night. 8.5's a lot. I might take SMU to cover that, but I think Penn State still wins.
Man, that's tough. Kind of the same thing as Notre Dame. Penn State, they can't win big games. So I tend to think it's going to be a really close game. I think they do win, but I would take SMU with the points though.
Yeah. Clemson at Texas, easy one. Texas, I don't think they're that great, but Clemson is a total fraud. Give me Texas to roll easily. Their defense can hold up. They played Georgia much tougher in that SEC championship game and knocked out Carson Beck. They got some players. Clemson, I don't know. I just think they're total frauds, man. They just had a really hot first half against SMU and were able. And obviously they have a kicker though that can make something if it comes down to that. But I'll take Texas to I'll lay the 11, which is a huge line too for a playoff game.
Oh, I was going to say, what's the spread? That is pretty big, but no, I think Clemson's the worst team in the playoffs. They just got in because they checked the box, basically, winning the conference. I think Texas blows them out, although I'm not that impressed with Texas either. But like you said, Clemson's by far the worst team in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Clemson, best regular season win at Pitt. Yuck. Didn't have to play Miami or Syracuse or or SMU in the regular season. Then they get to go out there and just eke and hang on to win. They shouldn't be in the playoff. Flaw of the system. Tennessee and then at the Buckeyes, laying 7.5 Saturday night in the shoe. Should be pretty damn cold with it being December. Although this weekend was in the 50s, and the next weekend's supposed to get in the 50s too. So maybe it ends up being mild, but we'll say probably not. SEC team coming north, but it's like one of the most northernmost SEC teams. I think they can handle like 40. If it's like 20s, maybe it's a little harder, but doesn't really play at our strengths either. I think a low scoring game, over under is only 47.5 or 7.5. Low scoring game. I'd probably take the 7.5 right now. The way our line looks against their D line can be tough. But I think Ohio State wins, but close.
I'm with you. After that 20-point spread, I just can't look at spreads seriously anymore with us. So I think it's going to be real tight. Hopefully we don't try to put a square peg in a round hole 50 times up the middle like we did last time. Try to go a little bit to the outside, actually throw the ball down the field to your best players maybe. And then the defense, I trust them. I mean, they were great in the last game, but they just got tired. They got gassed. The key to that, I think the key is going to be field position. That's what screwed us in the Scum game, just continually starting on like the 5-yard line. It felt like every single drive.
Yeah. We picked all the favorites we picked SMU, but not to win, but to cover. It should be a good first round. Then second round would be Notre Dame and Georgia. Great game. I think I'd probably take Georgia, but I don't feel great about them. I don't think they're that good. Like maybe it's just the hard schedule, but they had close calls with bad teams too that they eked out wins, like Kentucky and Georgia Tech. Like they aren't dominant at all. I'll probably take Notre Dame if they're getting any sort of real points in that game. Penn State and Boise State. I gotta like Penn State there.
You got to, unless the best player in the field, maybe he takes over. Who knows?
He could, and they got Gash running, but that's because they're the dual threat of Gabriel. I think they can figure that out. Texas playing Arizona State. Then I like Arizona State to do it. I think they're underrated. I think Texas is overrated. They haven't won any really big games this year, I guess, except for A&M, which was a weird game. And then us and Oregon, I'd have to take Oregon right now. I told you I think they're the best team, and we just have too many problems on the O-line with with the injuries right now. I just don't think we can get it done. So then we'd have Penn State and Georgia. Franklin ain't winning that game. Georgia.
What is Beck's? Is Beck healthy or what?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question to ask the committee too. Why is Georgia still the 2 seed? If we're worried about the health of the quarterbacks.
Oh, they put him in to hand the ball off for the last game, Matt. So he's healthy.
That's right. Yeah, he came in there and he handed the ball off good as fuck, Justin Fields style. And then Oregon and Arizona State, I'll take Oregon. They got it going. And then Oregon and Georgia, I got to take Oregon. Even though to get revenge on Georgia for that ass whooping they put on them a couple of years ago when Bo Nix was not having fun. Should be interesting though. Interesting for the 12-team playoff. Committee actually gets it right. Looking forward to seeing what happens. We'll do some previews about it, of course. I'd like to thank everybody for laughing in our faces at the Scum podcast because it hit almost 1,000 views, easily our best, over 100 hours of watch time too. I guess thanks and lots of funny comments at my expense, but that's fine. I don't really give a shit. But for the Dire Wolf, I'm just Matt. Like, subscribe to see more of this content. Yeah, we're going to make previews for the entire playoff as a whole, but obviously the Buckeyes and Tennessee will be what we focus on. And hopefully the Bucks figure something out and there's some sort of magic in Justin Fry's ass that he shits out a good O-line for these games, or else it's going to be short and sweet. And then we're going to have an interesting discussion in the offseason about Coach Day. I'm guessing he stays around just because of some of the rumors about the boosters, but a lot of people, since you didn't get to talk about after the Scum game, if he doesn't get past Oregon, is he safe for sure?
No.
He's
not
safe. Do you think he's gone? Do you think he's gone if we don't get past Oregon? I don't think this first round game. I mean, if we lose to Tennessee, he very well could be fired. If we win against Tennessee and lose to Oregon,
I can't say you can't say he's for sure safe. I think it's definitely up in the air. But the question is, I don't know who the hell they go after. You're not promoting freaking Heartline. You're just not.
No,
we're not.
no.
We're not getting Vrabel. I don't think that's happening.
No.
So
Belichick's going to college. Maybe.
I don't know, man. That's been my whole thing. If we switch coaches, it's basically like we're gonna blow the whole goddamn thing up and be screwed for like 3 or 4 years.
I said on ours, I was like, if we fire him, we probably lose 60 guys off this roster. Is my initial thought. Like almost the entire recruiting class will probably go somewhere else. All of Heartline's guys leave if he's not still here. Which whoever comes in will try to keep him. But if Heartline's not still here, the wide receivers are all gone. Quarterbacks are all gone for sure, unless you bring in another quarterback guru. But I don't know who the hell that would be, because you're not hiring Lincoln Riley. Who wants that? Anybody else? Yeah, the quarterbacks are probably all gone. The D-line will probably be all gone. Like, who the hell are we going to have on this team?
That's what all these people calling for his head. I completely get it, but you're going to be wishing you had him when we go 8-4 4 years in a row.
It's always this risk, but sometimes you gotta take some lumps to get to the mountaintop. And if which he does not appear to be the guy, in my opinion now, we'll have to see. But we're digressing. Like, subscribe, watch us in the future. That's Direwolf. I'm just Matt. This is The View from C-Deck. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey guys! Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.